This is going to be our first lesson on C# programming and trying to apply some of the concepts we've learned into putting them in a game. So we're going to start with something simple and build up from there. So what I've done so far is I've just created a cube, and I just scaled it. So 5 on the X, 1 on the Y, and 15 on the Z. Just so I have a surface. I then created a cube. Then created a sphere called player. And just put it above my surface here. And we could also put some materials on here. So I created the material. So I came down, right click, create new, and I created the material, red, and I just put it outside my sphere. We might try this with a cube in a minute also and see what it looks like. So anyway, we're going to do some programming with this and see what we can make it do. If I look at my player, I wanted to have some physics properties. I want to use it in the game. So one of the things I did is I put a rigid body on it. So component, physics, rigid body, that means it has collision properties, it has a collider, and in this case also gravity. So it acts like a normal object would. So if I played it, it would drop, except in my script, I think I have it. No, I'm okay. So it would drop. Let's just play it for a second. There it goes. So it has gravity, so it's going to drop down. If I turn off the gravity, of course, it's not going to. In fact, it's just going to float up with no gravity because I actually have some force on it. Let me go over here and strike this. Now let's play it. Yeah, so now it just stays up. So anyway, we're going to do some programming with this to get it to do some things we want and also learn how to program. So we have a collider on it that comes with it, and we also have the mesh renderer on it. If we turn it off, all you would see would be a wireframe. So that's the mesh renderer, and here's a script I created to go with it. So what I did is you come to the player, click on add component, and you're going to type in script and it'll come up. You're going to click new, and I named mine player control. You can call yours whatever you want, but mine's called player control. So we'd open up in MonoDevelop. This is what it's going to look like. Expand this out a little bit. Let's roll it so you can see it. So make sure yours says player control, whatever you named it. Up here it will not work. So the first thing I'm going to do is, because I have a rigid body on there, I'm going to go ahead and call it up. So I'm going to go ahead and get it or activate it. So I'm going to write a public variable so I see it inside my game, and I'm going to call it, I'm going to get the rigid body. This will come up when you start typing, and I called it RBody. This is the name of my variable. You can call it whatever you want. And then if I look at my player, there it comes up right there. So there it is. Now I went ahead and grabbed this rigid body right here, and I pulled it down in there. So now I'm actually using that variable, rigid body. I'm actually grabbing, just like we grab and create over here and drag them over. I have it right there. So let's go back to this. Now I've commented some of these off. So let me uncomment this one. So with this line of code here, I can then either turn the gravity off or on. So right now it's false. So if I save this, and then play the game, nothing happens. But if I come back to this script and I make it true and save it and then play the game, it falls. So now it has gravity. So with this script, we can then activate and control physics within the script, which is what we're doing here. We called it our body. We then came down and we wrote a script to use the gravity for it. Okay? Now I'm going to comment this off, and I'm going to activate this. So rather than just have it fall, we actually want to have it come down and move when it falls down. So in this case, I took the same variable we named, I added some force to it, and 0 on the X, 100 on the Y, and 2000 here. And this time.delta time just means it's going to move the same no matter what computer you have. So if you have a real fast computer, and we just put this down here, if I put like 20, it may not even, it may work, but if you have a slower computer, you wouldn't move at all. And it would move at different speeds depending on what computer you have. So we don't want the game playing at different speeds if someone has a fast computer and someone has a slow computer. So we put the time.delta time in there, and that just controls the same frame rate no matter what speed of computer you have. So this way, when we save this, and now when we play it, we got to put the gravity back in. So now it falls and it rolls. So it falls and rolls. So basically what I could do, of course, is I could just come back here and strike this out. Then I wouldn't have had to worry about it. So we can change this to, like, I don't know, 5,000. I have a fast computer, so. And now let's play it. Rolling a lot faster. So, I want you to go ahead and write this code, and we're going to go through it. And I'm going to start putting some strikeouts in here so you can see what we're doing, like this, so you can learn it. I'd like to see you write it without looking at it after you've done it once. So, name your, first of all, we're going to use the rigid body that we brought in, and we'll name it whatever you want. And here we're going to see if we can, just using that variable, turn gravity off and on. Just one of the things we're going to do. We're controlling the physics. And then we want to go ahead and add some force so this thing moves without having to have a slanted surface. It's going to move on its own with time.delta time. Anyway, write this code and see if you can write it by scratch after you've done it a couple of times. Let me know if you have any problems.